enjoy the show. Play on Perjangers.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Ev?
Good.
I knew you were a brilliantly talented artist, but once you sent me your portfolio and your website page, and I was even more taken aback, especially with 2019 Cat. Oh my God!
Oh, right.
That cat was tripping balls.
I wanted to make a sticker to like raise money for the food bank locally, and that's all I could think of was like a cat. So I was like, everybody likes cats. Let me just make a cat.
Everybody does like cats, unless it's that one guy from that Netflix documentary, and you're like, all right, that guy does not like cats
Yeah.
at all. But that's one out of like how many billion now? You know,
A lot.
I love stray cats, and let me tell you this, especially when you live in the suburbs, you need stray cats because of mice.
I agree.
I also found out recently that the mice don't like Nutella like they like peanut butter. I put a little bit of peanut butter in one of those I'm going to kill you traps. Dead. Like every time. I have a Call of Duty Elite KD score right now with me and mice. All right? With steel wool and that little trap that looks like a fucking jaws of life right there. I'm killing it. And it's dead. It goes in the trash. But I'm also killing a lot of them. Nutella did not work for me. So they're not into chocolate.
Okay.
It's not online. Like, do mice like chocolate? You're not going to get a search engine result out of that. So, I mean, the cat really did that got me there. But especially with just because I love, especially once you go to humanmadeproductsinc.com or humanmadeproducts.com for Products Inc. The first image that you see in what would Facebook users or anybody else would say, oh, it's a nice cover photo, but it's a nice picture you're greeted with as soon as you go to your website, and it's so intricate with colors. Colors are very difficult to master in a photo, or artistically wise. It's hard to know what's going to accentuate what you're trying to draw on the page and draw it out. You know, everybody sees comic books and they see artwork like that and like, oh my God, that's beautiful. But like, even me, if I'm just picking the colors for the text above our heads, and I'm like, I don't know, how's fuchsia? I go to my normals, like, all right, boom, 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 easy. But you can't do that with art. How do you, is it just this looks nice, or do you actually think, okay, I have this color next to this one, I need to bring this out now? So when you're doing the colors, is it something that's more natural, like, oh, I'm just naturally grabbing a pen, or are you actively thinking, well, I have this color, I need to use this one to highlight this color? Like, how do you choose? I have such problems picking colors.
It's kind of a mix between the two.
Okay.
I used to do it naturally, and I'm not always right. It doesn't always look right to the eye. So you gotta make sure you have some complementary colors in there. I mean, I like making pictures that look like candy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like candy. I love it.
And I get that. I feel like when I'm looking at this image, you have the treasure chest, like the potions. It feels D&D, but also this woman's holding like a spatula or something. Like, what is she getting out of that mix of sea? You know, it reminds me of the beach, and almost like a shipwreck or something like that. Everything's washing up, but there's also fish and different stuff in there that is filling out the image.
Yeah.
And it just, the more I look at it, I'm looking at the detail, and you have oh my God, you have a violin?
There's violin in it, or a guitar.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And it's just like, I find something new about it. And I'm like, what is that? Kind of like a jellyfish? Oh, that's a potion bottle tipped over.
Yeah.
And it's so expressionistic, but it's beautiful artistic wise because of the colors and the choices you use. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I love it. Nope, I have everything I need, Ev. We're good for the podcast. But that was a seller. I was like, I'm done. Yeah, that's it. Because art is something to where I said it in many podcasts before. I can storyboard. I can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't get to that level. You know, like even to Frank's level of inking. I was like, wow, what, you're tracing? After listening to him and another inker talk for like 25 minutes plus on the style and technique of inking, my eyes glazed over. I just started nodding and like, oh yeah. But I was mainly people watching and I was like, oh, what are you doing? Oh my God, is that Godzilla? Because I was at a con at the time and it's so entertaining. And for the fans that don't know, we met through the first year at the Great Media Comic-Con. Bunch of friends got together. We made a crazy thing happen, and it went off without a hitch. It was a huge success. I stepped down, went back to podcasting. Apparently other shit happened. But I'm so glad that I got to meet you through that first year, especially because on this platform of Tales of the Hunted that I've created with Frank, I want the artist and, you know, indie content creator is like a overall generalization blanket you can throw out there for any kind of people who are doing what we do. You know, we're independent because nobody's paying us, but we are creating content. And the content is art, it's podcast, I've had music people on, I've had directors and writers and, you know, every kinds of walks of life. But my favorite people are the artists because you're creating something that doesn't exist.
That's
it's
true.
not there until you make it. It's not even in a sense because whether you draw inspiration from this or that, it's going in the melting pot and then it's getting dripped down through your arm.
Yep.
And that's where, especially art and like my silly little podcast co-host, Michael Florio, with writing. Those are the two things that you have to spend well over 10,000 hours in, you know?
Yeah.
That common phrase, 10,000 hours. Like with those two, I'd say like, keep going. I'll let you know when you're ready. Keep going. You know, just push on. But how do you push on? Because I am now a struggling artist, just like yourself. How do you push on? I mean, you have these great works of art. I'm sure, get plenty of compliments and adulation for the stuff you do, but it doesn't necessarily equate out into payment for your effort.
Right.
And that's been like a, 10-year long struggle for myself of just creating content, putting out there, and like one guy watching. Like I still appreciate you. Don't get me wrong. I got 5 guys watching now, but you know, no burgers and fries.
It's really hard to keep going every day. The hardest part is doing it every day. And you can't rush your way through it. You just gotta keep pushing it. You know, it's hard for me because I eat a lot of junk food and I have to make that switch to healthier food. And so when I'm snacking, I eat and watch TV at the same time. And if I'm watching TV and eating at the same time, I'm probably drawing too.
Mm-hmm.
So snacking really does come into play. And your physical health, you really have to pay attention to that.
Yes. You do.
Because if it's not here, it's not here.
Yes. I remember looking back on an old podcast. And it was a really old one. But I look back on it, and it was back in 2020. And it was a good bit through 2020 when I had money. I was sitting at home, not doing a thing. And I got fat. Like, probably about 165, 170 now. I was up to 200 pounds. You know, and I'm a short guy. I'm like 5 foot nothing. 200 pounds is a lot of weight to haul around for a 5 foot person. So I'm sitting there, and I just like, oh my God. Like, after that, I made a point to try to start eating healthier and having better habits.
Yes.
Because I think it's very easy to go into the, oh, well, I'll just grab this. This is here. I was watching an anime, and the guy was like, it's been so long since I had a warm meal because working in business, I just went to the convenience store and grabbed whatever is there, and it's usually cold. Yeah. And that spoke to me from my service advisor and car dealership experience, because you're working more hours than that quote unquote favorable dream-like 40-hour work week. I was working 60 hours plus. What is here? How can I get back to work? And now switching over to the artistic side of, I'm so much happier.
Good.
Oh my fucking God. I'm so much happier than I was out there, man. Money does not make happiness. And that's probably my point of this podcast, is that you can find a way to pay your bills and still find a way to support your dream and keep going in that.
Yes. If you want it bad enough, you will be able to find a way to do it.
Because through this long journey, all these people that I'm continuing to meet and have met, you know, a lot of my former guests, they're my friends on Facebook. They congratulate me. They talk to me. You know, there is that level that I think my buddy Aleem said, this late in life, I never thought I'd have so many new friends. And that's kind of a staple. I see people in our age realm to where it's like, you know what? My dad didn't have this many new friends coming back around when he was my age. Like, it's a new thing with the social media and the internet. But it's, I think, also inspiring to people's dreams, because you can connect to other people who have your same idea or ideology that you may not have met before. And you can collaborate on something that will get you ultimately to where you want to be, to where you can go out to eat and not worry about the bill.
Eat healthy.
I mean, you can go Salad Works and be like, give me your most expensive salad.
Exactly. With all the dressing.
Done. All of it. This isn't all. Is this all your dressing? I said all of it. I said toss the whole salad. Whole salad. Are you guys the original salad tossers or not? I'm paying you. It's weird that I also find bougie healthy food Salad Works. I'm sure there's way more places like, dude, what? What? But, you know, poor person mentality. But is there a medium or a company as an artist that you would really jump at working for?
It used to be Disney or like Pixar. That was the dream. And then now, I'm showing my age. It's like, oh, the internet got much better. So I could just do this myself.
Mm-hmm.
What self-publish, which is what I plan on doing next year. Maybe some coloring books first, and then a graphic novel.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I really wanted to work for Disney, like really bad. I did actually work for them, but for the amusement park. I worked at Epcot.
Okay.
And
my
it was like
down there.
The best worst job.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
My uncle, he's a monorail operator.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Monorail. I every time I say that, I have that Simpsons song singing.
Oh yeah. Monorail. Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, man? You're living your dream. You're working at Disney World.
Yep.
God bless you. You know, if you're living your dream, that is the ultimate goal now, because there's enough places. It's not like when, we were going to school, it was like, all right, what are you going to be? Doctor, lawyer, accountant? What are you going to do? Which college are you going into?
Yep.
Not, is there a trade you'd like to go into? Hey, I noticed you're in a lot of arts classes.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd like to go into this. There's a lot of more instruction now because of the internet. So, especially with kids and the internet, they have them
Oh yeah.
before they get out of the womb practically. I'm expecting so much more of this generation than they're actually giving me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, do you use Google the same way I do? No. No, you don't. But it's wild because we didn't have these, the plethora of just helpful tools coming out there because, especially with AI, Mike and I want your opinion. Every artist that I'm going to have on since the last Silly Little podcast, I'm going to be asking this because Colin Kaepernick spending $4 million to start a company, comic book company, powered by AI, so that creators can get their comic out. As I'm sure you know Frank's thought point on AI with comics. And me and Mike and I, we tried to look at both sides of the argument. One was very easy. Don't do that at all. Like, I should not be able to go into the computer and say, I want a mouse and a car in the artistic style of Evelyn Wesley or Mark McKenna or Greg LaRoe. And you should not be able to do that.
But we can't, which kind of sucks, and we have to deal with it now. And being an artist, everybody expects me to say, oh, no, I hate AI. AI is completely wrong. I just think it's another tool in the toolbox.
Yes.
You have to feed it images so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my argument on it.
I just
know
released
I'm going to
something
probably
with
lose
AI
a couple
today.
of friends because I did say that, but
yeah,
it's just another tool in the toolbox.
It is, because I am strictly opposed to AI for Billy, who has, albeit may be a great idea for a comic book, but you bring it to this AI, and this kid who hasn't even put any effort into 10,000 hours, let alone picking up a pencil, can have, at the end of the day, whether it be now or 10 years from now, a comic that could be just as good as any professional artist that has done it their entire lives. It's something that, at the very least, we need to have a sticker. Remember how Tipper Gore got all up on that sticker with music back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Parental advisory. How about this isn't made by a real person? Can we put a fucking sticker on that?
That'd be great.
Hey, this is AI imagery. I would gladly put that on any of the photos to where I manipulate them with AI. I would gladly put that out there because I put that out on social media. My books are all me and my photography. Minor editing of light, editing of, vibration, saturation, colors, whites, blacks. That is normal. To add a panda in Ridley Park, I'm going to put that. Actually, no, I got to go back and actually, I never thought of panda.
Hey, maybe,
before.
I don't know, check that concept out.
Yeah. No, I have a picture of Ridley Park. Now I'm going to make a panda. Side ideas aside, but that's what that's for. That tool of, oh my God, I have this picture. I can add in something that is funny. It's clearly not supposed to be there. Like I did the 420 bridge that everybody gets stuck under. I had a dragon, a spaceship, an elephant. It was a great post. But it was stuff that, that wasn't there. If I generated that image and never went to that bridge, we are getting to that point with AI. And then that just takes all the time. You come home from work and you go right to that board and start drawing. It's like erasing all of that effort. And it's already hard enough being an artist. You see, I see people at these cons. They put their heart and soul. This is an amazing comic, like Aleem Legit. He goes to a con. That's no guarantee he's actually going to make a sale or even make his money back for being there.
Yeah.
And now you want to take all that away already. For Greg, who's 12, and he just typed something into AI because he's good with AI. there's regulations and stuff we need to have in the future to protect people like us who are just trying to make a living, being creative, making something literally out of nothing. But what is a project that you'd love to do in the future?
Project. Well, right now I'm doing a little bit for fun and also for I do want to donate money to Doctors Without Borders. Right now I'm doing a poster for them.
Nice.
And all the proceeds will go to those guys. But project I'd like to do in the future, I really would like to do something with the space program, or like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye, if I can pull my brains together long enough to stop going, oh, when I see them. But, because I'll meet them in person in this scenario, of course.
Of course, yeah, but I'd be right there too. Like, all right, bring it together. Like, oh my God, you. Yeah, I get that too. Like, I'd be like, all right, act like an adult. Can I? We're gonna try.
I would love to do a comic book with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I feel like he has a lot to say. I forget. I think it was Superman Returns, or I forget which Superman. Forgive me, I'm a big Superman fan. But it was Henry Cavill. He was in it, and Neil deGrasse Tyson was on TV saying if Superman were real, he'd be black because of the melanin in his skin. But
Man of Steel?
Frank brought up a good point. He's an alien, so you don't really know that. That's where you can just
different physiology,
pseudoscience. So
here's a different topic: are you into aliens?
Aliens?
Aliens.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm trying. I just got my Romulus cup from the movie theater. I saw it today. It was good. It was decent, and the continuity was wonderful. I'm not going to say anything else about it other than maybe you should watch the first two movies if you have not seen Alien.
Right. Now, I watched the first two movies, Alien and Aliens, on mushrooms, which is great. It was fucking great. I felt great about the whole experience. But I watched those. I haven't traditionally been an Alien fan. But, I saw Prometheus and all that stuff coming out. I saw, oh my God, Disney, you're this? What did you buy? It's like Bob Iger got drunk one night and he's like, fuck it, get aliens. The real guys or the movie? The movie. We can't afford the real guys. So, they have it out there, but I do appreciate the franchises like that being extended and it being in Disney, because Disney has been traditionally the person who knows how to beat a dead horse and get every single dollar.
Every little cent out of everybody.
Every niche, like that Young Jedi Adventures. I was like, I'm never watching you. You're not for me. I love Star Wars, but I also feel cheated. You didn't make that for me as well. Like Skeleton Crew. That's coming out before the end of the year. I don't watch that. Jude Law's a fucking Jedi.
Maybe I will watch that if Jude Law's in it. See, they know how to get me.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Like, hey, we're beating this dead horse. Yeah, okay. We got Jude Law as a Jedi.
Another movie they're beating us up with is Mufasa, the Lion King.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like live action.
It's like the Waynes.
It looks cool.
Ben, leave these dead people alone. Are you trying to get haunted? If you could get haunted by fictional characters, they'd be haunting all of us by now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Leave me dead.
I'd be haunted by that poltergeist guy in the second movie, the church guy. Creepy.
Oh yeah.
Also happens to be my OBGYN.
Wow. It's so crazy he still gets work.
Fucking crazy.
It's so crazy he still gets work. I mean, that's a really good OBGYN. Even after death, you're like, all right, on the stirrups.
And he starts going, "'Cause in his holy town." Oh. Let me in. Why don't you let me in?
This is supposed to be a professional environment. Look, if you keep saying that, I'm not coming here. You're my only patient anymore. I'm sorry. The lawsuits have gotten bad. I'm sorry, you want to sue a what? I want to sue a ghost. You know, I would have thought this is crazy, but it's not my first case. So let's walk over what you need to do. I figure after the first case, they know how to handle it.
Right?
If you're a good lawyer, you know?
They would call them the Ghostbusters.
Call us.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my god. Have you watched any of the recent Ghostbusters stuff?
I saw the first reboot of it with Paul Rudd.
Okay.
I love Paul Rudd. He's great. I haven't seen the Freeze of New York or whatever it's called.
Right. Yeah.
I will watch it probably tonight because we're talking about it.
Right. I haven't watched either of them. I was a Ghostbuster when I was a kid, but I saw that Frozen. What I was like,
I know some Ghostbusters from Philadelphia
oh shit.
and Delaware
All right.
chapters. They do stuff for charity all the time, and they show up at like Comic-Cons and baseball games and shit. Yeah. If you want them on the show, I could probably ask too.
Oh, look. I'm always looking to talk to Ghostbusters.
Okay.
And I also have an event coming up. I just pointed my agent out to find some fucking Ghostbusters to go to York.
Okay.
Absolutely. I love that idea because
All right.
nerd and geek culture is very still much in the forefront of people's minds. It's not something you can just kind of push that guy off in the corner anymore, but it's also a lot of things are getting pushed up into people's minds in the forefront where you can't really deny it anymore. Like the government admitting there are aliens. Well, UFOs. I'm sure the aliens wouldn't appreciate being put out on blast like that. Like, yo, we didn't say that.
We prefer other life forms.
Alien is so racist.
Right.
Ugh. It's like that one Doctor Who line. He was like, wait, you have a movie called Aliens? No wonder you get invaded. So wrong.
Who is your favorite Doctor?
The doctor that that's such a hard question for me
I know.
because the doctor that got me in was Christopher Eccleston with what's your name? Rose. Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life. I knew I was going to be a Doctor Who fan for the rest of my life at that point, okay? Because he was the doctor that got me in. But my favorite doctors are David Tennant and Peter Capaldi.
My favorite Doctor is David Tennant.
Yeah. Especially with the new stuff, how they brought him back, and it was expertly done. It was so. I love Nkuti. I think he is a brilliant doctor. I loved his first season. There's also like some murmurings online, like, "Oh, Doctor Who's not doing good on Disney." But I loved that first season. I thought it was so good, especially for him. And then getting a new companion next year. It's also very reminiscent of what they did when they brought Doctor Who to Netflix.
Oh.
One doctor, the companion went on. One person goes on, new companion, new other person. So I saw it as reminiscent of that. Like, all right, you're giving me, this is the Doctor. Doctor Who fans are like, ugh, because they've already seen it. It's not for you. The individual episodes are for you. And guess what? They're better than The Timeless Child.
Yeah.
So, and I said this on previous podcasts before, but my old podcast partner, Katerina Thermascara, a wonderful one, she said they didn't know what to do with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. And that was their problem. And that was her problem in the run. They didn't know what to do with her. It was, not horrible, but it wasn't as good as they could have made it. You know, like,
Oh.
especially with what they did with Nkuti, because that first season was a great impression on him and him as a doctor, especially the episodes they had, especially with the one with the landmine. It wasn't anything else. It was the doctor, his companion, and a bad situation. It was going back because it's also Russell T. Davies running the show again.
Oh, I love that guy.
So, you know what I mean? I felt
great.
your relief. I felt your relief.
Talking about like stories coming out of thin air, and he's just like, "Ugh."
He's
He's
brilliant.
good at that.
He's
Yeah.
so brilliant at it and tying things in to where that's where, like, you can murmur on your online all you want. We know who's running the show.
Yeah.
Stephen Moffat even had a written episode, I believe, in the new season. So I got a lot of faith in Doctor Who going forward, especially with if you get Disney money behind that.
Oh, you're unstoppable after
Oh my
that.
God! Anything you want to do with Doctor Who with Disney money, all right, good.
I want Disney money.
It's like your dad is a lawyer in L.A. All right, here's my credit card. Go, do what you want. What? You know, so Doctor Who's another one that I so love because when the character is written right, rather, they don't use a gun, and they use their wits to go over and win the situation. And that is so much harder to write than just saying, I shot everybody. It's hard. Like, you know, that impossible situation. How did he get out? You know, it brings it back to Sherlock, which is very reminiscent of the character and where they drew from. It's that kind of thing to where you have to eliminate the monster of the week.
Yeah, I didn't like the Monster of the Week. That's actually what made me stop watching Doctor Who was
Mhm.
Monster of the Week and that other writer. I mean, I can't write for shit, but I got so bored. I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
When even you realize, like, I can't write, but I could write something better. It's like, I got to tap out. I get it. But also, that's the fresh inspiration that you get from Disney, because look at the stuff that they're doing with, like, Star Wars. And that was another one. A bunch of my friends were like, oh, they're putting out another Star Wars. Oh, we're not done beating this dead horse. And yeah, we all pretty much agree. Sequel trilogy could have been way better. But that's really the only thing you had to do with that was have one goddamn director. Throughout.
They couldn't do that, could they?
You know, he's available here. We got to make these, like, movies in 3 years. What? And then Dave Filoni coming back. That's what got me back into Star Wars, is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Because with Mando, throughout the later seasons, like, what was it, 2.5 or whatever, they called it Book of Boba Fett.
But yeah.
That got a lot of bad taste in people's mouths, but it's because they're telling a bigger story. They have so much homework to do to tie everything together to make sense. It's Dave Filoni's job at this point. Like, hey, you got to fix it.
Mandalorian's so good. It's so good.
The Waters of Mandalore, Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Like, I am so down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The Mythosaur. Ha! Oh, my God. Like, yo, I need to see Mando riding that Mythosaur now.
Yes.
With Grogu on his back.
Yes.
You know?
I drew a sketch of Mando and Grogu, and by the time I was done the sketch, I sold it already because I put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I wish I scanned it. I didn't even scan it to make copies.
Oh, my God.
He's got the only copy of it.
That is a rarity,
so
though. That's a rarity.
What?
That's a rarity for it, because now that's an original piece.
Yeah.
And he has that. I'm like, no, this is Evelyn's original piece. I bought it before anybody else could get it. This is mine. So that's almost almost like a diamond coming with the purchase with that. To where,
Aw.
oh, this is only mine? Love it. No, you can't
I
scan
have
it.
a
This is
couple of
mine.
pieces of coal too go along with it.
Okay.
Osaka, whatever.
Mhm.
She didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to be. I had a lot of little doodles, but her foreshortening in the arm just
Mhm.
got me. I had to mention that, but just in case anybody peruses the Instagram.
I get it. You know?
I was still drinking tequila then, so, give me a break.
The lines aren't going to be as sharp after
Right.
tequila is
You get the
involved.
idea.
You're lucky she remembered the lines at all. All right? But that's big, man. I mean, especially with Star Wars, fans, I think, are just overly get out of the 23andMe of the Skywalkers. I don't want to hear that name ever again in my lifetime. You know what I mean? You have a whole expanded universe before that. The Great Jedi Sith War, the Hyperspace War, nobody has even talked about. It's only been in video games and lore. You know, Bane, Revan, Plagueis, so much other stuff you could do. The real Star Wars fans are like, you could do that. We got Andor season 2. I'll watch it, okay? The first season was good. I know he's a dead man walking. I just want you to hit these marks.
Right.
So that's why that's easier, to where you look at Obi-Wan, they're going to do a movie, and like, miniseries. Miniseries are like, maybe a second? No!
Oh.
Just that. That's it. That's all we're doing.
That was okay. I was okay with that.
And it went into one of the expanded universe books as well. It's where, all right, we just had fucking adventure. He was living in a desert. You have to find something to occupy your time, even if you're trying to hide away as a Jedi. All right.
Yeah, you got to find a hobby or something.
At least the
you
Disney
think he would
Plus,
open like something inconspicuous? You can't like open up Jedi school or something.
Well, exactly, like the Disney Plus series. He's a scavenger. Those gigantic dragons and stuff. You see the bones all over. Guess what? Yeah, that was a farm. They were just harvesting meat. There's Obi-Wan, just a butcher.
Yep.
It still kind of fits.
A little bit.
What do you do now? I used to be a Jedi, but I love butchering.
You cut meat now.
What kind of deal is it? That's Alstatius. I'm not paying that. You will pay that. I will pay that. How does he sell the worst meat on Tatooine and make the most money? Nobody knows.
That was a nice name drop, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, like, hey, Bale, use a new, I could use a new evaporator for the moisture farm. Want to help me out with that? I guess I'll be. I saved your daughter. It's already on the way. It's already on the way. I had to flee from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That motherfucker's been in everything.
Dude, I love seeing him in movies.
Oh my god. I was watching Son-in-Law the other night. He's a tattoo artist. You pick it, I stick it.
Oh,
and then I saw Back to the Future the next night.
Oh.
He's in Back to the Future 3 as Needles. I didn't even know.
Oh my god.
What, you chicken?
I tell you what, if Red Hot Chili Peppers ever doesn't work out for him, Con Circuit will definitely take care of him.
Yeah.
He's taking care of it the rest of his life. Like, oh, it's Needles in Back to the Future.
That's
Oh,
right.
shit. Give me your signature. I was also in a band. Fuck your band. Sign it, Needles. You're better on heroin. It's probably the worst thing, but truest thing to say to any of those musicians. Like, hey, you know what? You guys were so much better on drugs.
It's like Stephen King was better on drugs. to me. I don't.
Dude, he didn't even remember writing Cujo. He was so fucking blasted off coke and alcohol. He was just, oh, Cujo. Carrie? What?
What?
Stephen King on Writing is a great book because he tells you. He was just like, I was drunk. Not in those words, but he lets you know. He's like, pop it back. I have written in that state. You think you are the most brilliant person ever.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But much like the ancient Greeks, I think it was the Greeks or the Sumerians, they said, write something inebriated, review it sober. And they did that for their policies, for their whole civilization. Like, all right, let's get together, get drunk, talk about policies, and then we got the meeting tomorrow. George, no more spirits. Ale only. You didn't show up last week. It's that kind of thing. Then who knows? You go to wine, it may have had ergot in it, and now you're tripping balls talking to Zeus. That's the comic that nobody's touching, all right? How ancient Greeks and Romans are just getting high, predicting shit, and creating democracy and shit. Where's the stoner comedy comic on that?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Where's that stoner comedy?
That's always something I've always wanted to do, is make a little stoner comic of my life. I've had so many jobs, and it would just be me at my jobs, like at Hollywood Video.
Mhm.
All we did was stand outside, smoke cigarettes, eat candy, and rent movies. And we did not give a fuck. It was really funny. It was the best, worst job also.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, customer service is that, though. When you find the right place, it's like, oh my God, this is the best, worst job ever.
Yeah.
Like, I was working at a car dealership, and you get those people who are like, oh my God, bah, bah, bah. I didn't tell you to buy this car. You didn't want to buy the BMW.
Yeah.
That's not on me. Apparently it was, because I got fired for not getting a good enough surveys.
I used to work at Chrysler. I get it.
It's also why I don't work in that industry anymore. Because it's like, hang on. So it doesn't matter how smart I am, how good I am at my job, or any of that. Do you like me? Will you give me a 10? If I get a 9, I'll fail. Like, I feel like if I was a toddler, the dealership mentality, their surveys would be through the roof. Because who's going to tell a toddler to fuck off? I'm not buying that service. You need an air filter. Look. Oh, my God, how much? You know what? It doesn't matter. Just change it.
You can pay me in blocks.
I'm here for the hug program. Your toddler told me I can pay in hugs. Yeah, that's our payment plan. It's only 13% in interest. Here's your credit card. You know, they all dealerships always have a credit card. Like, oh, you can't pay? I got a credit card. We can get you approved right now. Like, what? It's only like 16% interest. Like, all right. And that's a number for anybody who hasn't paid interest. As soon as you find out what that number for interest is, you're like, what? Nah, I'm not doing that. It's like everybody else can be ridiculous besides me in a normal job, and they'll make trillions of dollars. But when I'm ridiculous, I'm asked to leave. It's stereotypical, you know. It's wrong. At least me being asked to leave. You know, they're being fucking ridiculous, and, you know, we'll see. But
corporate jobs suck.
They do. They do.
They're awful. It's exactly like that. It's like, do you like me? Am I likable?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not? I have to do what now? Oh, I have to go away because I'm not like, great.
I got told I need to have more empathy. Because she said I don't have a coupon? I think I saw one. Like, what am I just supposed to pick something out of my fucking brain and be like, wow, here's 8% off? You should have offered this. You know, there's that boss, second boss, third boss. It's almost like Office Space. We have like 7 people. I'll go work at Freddy's. All right. I don't need your shit. Apparently, there are other people who will pay me almost as much as you do for a lot less responsibility. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, that's what they dream. They want to be in that rat race. They want to strive to the end. They want to go and, you know, run down that circuit. That's not the path of the artist.
No.
You know, could you imagine if that is how art was worked? Like anything of actual business wise to the art world? Like, hey, Ev, you have a completely new original 75-page artistic novel you need to do by tomorrow. Or you're fired. You know, that's not how it works.
We don't run like that. It's hard. That's why school is so hard. Well, it was so hard for me. It's like, okay, let's make this 11 by 17 poster, full color, in about 2 days. That's it. That's fucking impossible for me to do. I need a week or two. I need time to rest my brain.
Yes.
I'm surprised that they said you need more empathy. Like, you are an artist, you're naturally empathetic. So
yeah, and that's the thing. It's just in that specific instance, you know. I've also been called a lazy employee, which is also completely opposite of my natural being. I can be lazy, but when I'm actually driven and dedicated to something, just like today, I was editing. I woke up first thing about 7 or 8. I went right to my computer here, and I started editing. I didn't get up from my chair until I was done. I wouldn't have done that when I was working at Chime. You know what I mean? If I don't show up, you'll have me replaced by tomorrow.
Yeah. I work in a grocery store, a pretty popular one, and everybody's like, well, you didn't show up this day or this day. I'm like, I know, but I had to, I just needed personal, like, space. You know what I'm saying? Oh my, you know what I'm saying. Corporate doesn't understand that. They give you days off, but they don't expect you to take those days off.
Yeah. Oh.
Because you'll be in trouble.
What do you mean you had a day off? Oh, I know. Even in the automotive world, be like, all right, well, you have days off, yes. Okay, so I'm not coming in. The biggest thing for me was snow. Where if there's I'm not going in.
No, that's dangerous.
I'm going to be there for 11 hours. By the time I get out, I'm going to be sleeping in the parking lot. No, I'm not coming. Well, you know, Jeff came in. Good for Jeff.
Good for Jeff.
Can we talk about me right now? Because I'm telling you, I'm not coming in.
You know,
every boss in the auto industry are like, yeah, but are you coming in? I get it's 12. I get it's 12 feet outside, but we got somebody here who needs an oil change. So do it yourself.
It's like Jeff's wearing 10 pieces of flare, and you're only wearing 2. That's the minimum pieces of flare. The minimum.
Yo, who would have thought Jennifer Aniston would still look like that good?
But she looks amazing. Oh my God. So I love the show Friends. I am not scared to share that.
I've watched it. I've watched multiple episodes back to back. I'm not a Friends fan.
Yeah.
I have watched it. It was back in the day that you had 5 channels. You had 10 channels, 25 channels. If your family was thrifty, you had basic cable. You didn't have 7,500 channels. You got Friends, you got the news, or you got sports. Yeah. So you watch Friends.
I'm pretty sure the first couple of episodes where you see Rachel, she has high beams. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I've read
like,
that.
wait a minute.
Especially in those early sitcoms.
The show's gotten a lot better.
They would turn the thermostat down just to make sure everything's perky. And God, it's cold in here. You'll get used to it.
You'll be fine.
And that's how they got the rating.
That's exactly how. Also, they the first season, not the entire first season, the first few episodes kind of ripped off of Living Single.
Mhm.
It was, I mean,
Yeah, but do you remember?
it's almost identical.
It was a cultural thing to when
Yeah.
they had the Ross Rachel split.
Yeah.
Divided the whole country. Worse than
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans. It was Ross or Rachel. Whose side are you on? It was worse than the East Coast West Coast rap war. Okay,
It was.
You're
'Cause he'd
lucky.
be like,
You're
"We're
lucky
on a
she's
break."
still here. You know, they were going to assassinate her, but Trump got in the way. So, you know, I had to. I had to. That's a Reagan joke right there. What? Yeah. You know, the guy that shot Reagan was actually going to shoot somebody else, but he's like, fuck it, you're here. No, it wasn't that person. It was I almost want to Google it. Who was that guy going to shoot? It wasn't Julia Roberts like we were talking about. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else, but it was along those lines. Who was really I hope nobody in the government actually takes my search history like seriously. Yes, Brooke Shields. That's who it was. Yes.
Someone was after Brooke Shields. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. Somebody was after Brooke Shields.
He was like very upset. He was gonna shoot. He was gonna kill her, or it was some actress. But I want to say I know it wasn't Julia Roberts, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Brooke Shields. It was somebody else. I know you know 5 people. I'm very impressed. You even knew Brooke Shields. It's fine. But somebody else told me. I forget who, but some other actress was supposed to be shot, and then Reagan got in the way. And he's like, "This is fine. I'll take the president."
Oh my God!
It's where you look at Trump's shooting. This guy had a fucking ladder and an instrument to gauge distance. I'm like, this guy's fine. They
You gotta
catch him.
count for.
Hey, what are you doing?
And
And nobody talks to the Secret Service, whose job it is to protect this fucker, standing in wide open area, and this guy has a fucking ladder. What's that guy doing? You know, maybe it's something for lighting. They're getting the right shot. The right shot. Bang! Oh, they got the right shot.
Oh, right.
It's wild. People are wild out there. That's why I don't do public appearances. Who? Jodie Foster. That's who he was going to shoot. Jodie Foster.
Oh.
Yes, he was going to shoot Jodie Foster, but he went to Reagan. And he was like, close enough. You practically. Actor. I got one. Turns out one was a president. You know, you were close, guy. You were close.
Holy shit! I never knew that. I gotta look that up. I watched her in that what is it called? Night Country.
I don't know.
I think it was called Night Country on Max.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's they're in Alaska, and they're on native land, and it's during the time of year where there isn't very much sunlight at all.
Yeah.
It's like spooky and shit. I have the last episode to watch, but the only reason really why I was watching is 1, Jodie Foster, cool.
Mm-hmm.
2, oh my God, this hot woman on there. Have you seen this hot woman?
No, I will.
She's Native American, and she used to be a boxer, so she's like cut.
Marry me.
Right, exactly.
Why not? Yes. Right now. I'll go get a ring. I'm poor, but I'll still.
Like,
it
go
may be
get
an
one.
onion ring. I'll get a ring.
She
right
might
now.
be into it, you know.
Marry me. This is an onion ring. That's so sweet. Yes. She had everything else but an onion ring. You know, you got to figure it's Jodie Foster. She has diamond rings.
That's right.
Does she have onion rings? Might be the title of this podcast. From assassinations to onion rings, man. We go everywhere.
Onions.
But No, man. I mean, you definitely have that stuff out there with obsessed people. Is there any? I always put. I'll go with this one because I asked all my guests who are creatives. Marvel, DC, they're both knocking at your door. They want you to do a project. What are you doing?
Oh man, how much are they paying? Are they both paying the same amount?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
gotta
really
make
hard.
it difficult. Yeah.
Very hard. Well, I'm a big Superman fan, but I'm also an X-Men fan because of the '90s and the drama.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to go Marvel.
Okay.
I have to go Marvel, unless it was Superman.
Yes. Because I mean, look, X-Men and Superman. Superman has been portrayed very well in the media.
Lately,
yeah. And I'm excited for Superman Legacy, minus the Guy Gardner. I love Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
But what the fuck are you doing with that costume, man? James. Did you see that costume anywhere else in the comics like you have it? No.
Does it look? It looks like a Velcro like thing.
Give me the fucking vest. You know what I mean? Give me the vest. Douchey fucking red hair. I mean, Big Brother red hair. That shit should be fucking lighter than Yingling red. Bright red hair. He was
for Guy Gardner.
Yeah, he was an Irishman. All right?
Yeah.
I believe in Nathan Fillion for continuing on that Green Lantern role that he always does.
I think he's a perfect fit for him, but I hope the costume holds up.
Maybe it's like the Sonic thing, and the internet will shame him into changing it, and we'll hear about reshoots. You know, like, hey, we gotta change this. Maybe we'll get lucky, all right? Because that Sonic movie was not bad after they changed that little fucking rodent into Sonic.
Yes.
With James Marsden, that was an enjoyable movie. Both of them. I can't wait for the next one, you know? If you listen to your fans, you can get there. But with X-Men, X-Men is something, especially with the 97 series, that's a series that has always been tied to nerd and geekdom, that people have always loved and cherished because it was so close to the comics, as well as still including the entire Marvel universe and giving you what you want. And they kept going with that with this recent season. But, dude, that episode that is nominated, Remember Me, with Rogue and Remy at the end.
Don't tell me what happens.
My heart broke, okay?
Okay.
I fucking cried. All right? I'll admit that on the podcast. That's cool. Scene alone between the two, it's the very end of, I think it's like episode 7. So impactful. You can't help but feel it because of how they explain in the dialogue between the two, their relationship and how it ends. It rips your heart out, it stomps it, and then it puts it in a meat grinder and makes it into patties. Somebody eats it, shits it out, and puts it in a fucking, garbage dump. That's how you feel after you watch that episode at the end. It just tears everything out. And it's animated. Weren't cartoons for kids? Remember that?
Yeah.
The kids
We're all
grew up.
grown-ups now, though.
And we still like cartoons.
Oh, fuck yeah. I really wish they would come up. I say they as in animators, as in good animators. Somebody should take over Silverhawks because the intro was so badass, but the show was not that good. I rewatched it and I was like, this is no good. This is no good. But the intro, holy shit, I want to be a Silverhawk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff coming back out there for people who grew up in our time. But not all of it's good. Remember when they brought back Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah, that was not good.
Me and Big Brother both got excited. We watched it and we were like, what the fuck is this? Like, I mean, It wasn't as bad as when they tried to bring Ren and Stimpy back without the gay.
Oh,
It was the best part of Ren and Stimpy. That
yeah.
sawing the log bit that's always online. That's what we watched as kids. A chihuahua fucking. There's a mentality the children aren't getting. It's dark humor, okay? We need to inject more dark humor into our children. Otherwise, I'm going to look crazy.
Oh, I can't wait to alienate my grandkids with like all this crazy ass music and like, oh, it was called the Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. And then
Try explaining She-Hulk twerking. I'm sorry, you're surprised. Yeah. You're surprised people didn't really. That wasn't a very big reception to She-Hulk. Really? I didn't even know where there was a person who identified as Megan the Stallion. I was expecting a horse. I thought it was a female horse. Like there was going to be Megan the Stallion's going to be in there. There's going to be a horse. It's going to be great. Not what I got. Not what I got at all. All right. I understand there are fans of hers out there, but I mean, there's stuff out there. You don't need to add your favorite person into a show. You know, you don't need to. When you have the opportunity, like me, I'd love to add in my favorite characters into my podcast. I don't have the money. So I'm just telling you, stick to the roots, you know? Just stick to those roots there. You don't need to go crazy on a concept. Some of the best shows that I watch are just expanding on that simple description that you read when you're deciding whether you want to watch it. And I do watch a lot of anime, but some of my favorite anime are, hey, I'm going to warn y'all now. My favorite anime right now are reincarnation. I love reincarnation anime because they all get reincarnated into like a game world. They got magic. They got fucking blades, sorcery. It's like D&D, but they get reincarnated into it. It's fantastic. The Japanese got something.
I haven't seen anime in a few years, so I got back into anime. The Dungeon one on Netflix.
Oh, Delicious in Dungeon? Oh yeah. My God, I love that show.
Oh, it's so good and weird.
Nobody thought of like, all right, well, how are you going to get through this? Because dungeons are notoriously in video games very long. So if you're looking at it realistically, how are you beating that final dungeon boss, bro? You've been in there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your food? You're not traveling with 5 years worth of food. So you got this one guy in Knight's Gear, and he's like, no, we can saute that. And then he meets another guy who is already living in there.
Yep.
And he's a
that hairy guy, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. That was one of the shows I would eagerly wake up like, Delicious in Dungeon. It's Thursday. Oh my God, I can't wait. And I'd go right there. I'd get so pissed if it wasn't on. That is one of my favorite.
It's pretty good. I would like to live in that world, except I really wouldn't like to die. They seem like they die a lot and come back to life. Yeah. I'd be like, fuck, I died again? Really? That was poisonous. I shouldn't have ate that. All right. Well, what's that? I'll eat it.
Well, some of the earlier anime, like Log Horizon, that's one of my favorites because it was very specific, like a lot of these are, because of game mechanics and, hey, if you do this, you can do that. And it was very early on. But one of the premises of that is they didn't know why they were stuck in this game world. They just had to survive. So there was that mystery there of like, all right, we have to figure everything out. And all right, but if you die, you lost your memories and you got transported back to the central tower. Yo, man, you died back there. Like, what? Yeah, bro, that's bad. So that kind of like memory loss into reincarnating in that game world, that was big back then. But like that death in that world and then being brought back is kind of a pretty overused trope right now. It's like, oh my God, Wolverine died? Really? You think they're gonna keep him dead? No, he's gonna be
Right?
back.
I don't know. Like the whole the hero is dead thing is kind of lost on me now. Like I had to live through the death of Superman. That fucking hurt.
That
I read
hurt.
those comics and then I was like, is he really coming back? I remember having like a breakdown over this. It was like, I don't know if he's coming back. There's all these weirdos. But it seems to me that if you're not doing well or your comic's not doing well or your show's not doing well, it's like, oh, let's kill off this guy
Yeah.
and then have him come back. But it's, I don't know. I call it the death of Superman effect, I guess. But maybe it's called something else now. But
See, there's one person who actually prospered in death, and that's Robert Kirkman. Because you look at The Walking Dead, his comics,
yeah,
he would make you fall in love with a character, and then once you fall in love with them, they're dead.
yep, they're gone.
They're gone. Like when Glenn died in the comics, that was another time. I was crying. Not crying.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And don't get me, Stephen Yen's a great character for that guy.
Yeah.
And he looked very similar to how he was drawn in the comic. But I was so attached to that fictional character, Glenn, in the comics because of how brutal they were. Robert Kirkman holds back no punches. He leaves the human experience in a zombie world exactly how it would be. And that's why he has Empire right now.
I also feel the same way, how you feel about that, as I feel the same way about Days of Future Past, the beginning of, because it's so close to the comic,
Yes.
and they kill everybody off. And I was like crying buckets in the movie theater, like, oh, this fucking dead. They killed her. Like Storm, they killed her the same way.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Crazy.
my God. Days of Future Past was such a good movie. And I saw it getting such shit on the internet. But when I actually watched it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because at that point, I got like Amazon, I got a tablet, and it was like an Amazon tablet. It was like, oh, Kindle. Okay. Oh my God, you guys have comics. I have Amazon. This is great. The Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past, like all those old Chris Claremont X-Men comics were readily available. And I read through them. And it's some of the best writing. It's some of the best stories. And it's old. It's what they're drawing from now, and it's why. And then I get how Hollywood would say, all right, we have this old premise. We now need to spice it up. But when you're looking at a premise like that, it does not need to be flared up that much. You just have to hit the points. And the big problem with Marvel back then was they didn't have all the licensing. You know, it's like with Infinity War. The Infinity Gauntlet had everybody. And that you had like not even probably fucking 60% of the licensing and rights to. So what are you going to do? You're going to do what you did. And it did well because that's what the MCU has done right up to that point is they made their own thing. Now with the
Can I say something
stuff,
about the Infinity Wars?
yes.
I'm so
interested.
When something is overhyped for me, I don't watch the movie. Like I didn't watch the movie because I was getting too hyped up about it. I'm like, because my expectations were like way up there. So I was at a friend's house at like New Year's, and they had Infinity War on. It was the first time I was seeing the ending. I was like, "Where is Wakanda? Did you know they were 15 minutes late? Are they running on CP time?" That made me cry so hard. It just was like, wait a minute. Oh, and they're here.
What do you feel about them recasting Black Panther?
I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm willing to watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It better not be crap.
Just don't make it crap, and everybody
Just don't
will
make
watch.
it crap.
Like not having Black Panther. It's like not having Iron Man, not having Captain America, not having Black Panther. You can go forward without these guys.
Yeah.
That also makes sense why they're doing Secret Wars. We really want people back. It turns out it wasn't a really great idea to kill these guys. Where what did you do with the Hulk? You just inserted the most derpy person ever, Mark Ruffalo, when you had Edward Norton. They didn't like how dark Edward Norton wanted to do the Hulk, but I'm sure fans really would have loved it. But still, you had Ed Norton, and you got Dirt McGee with Smart Hulk. Hey, stay in school, eat your vegetables. And She-Hulk didn't help that at all.
Yeah.
She made him look like a bigger fucking boob. Like, oh, this could take years to master, and she takes it in a fucking week. And you're like, all right. What are you guys doing here? What's your theme? It's one of those things to where a lot of the shows, I watched them, but I could see why people would criticize them.
Yeah.
But then again, you get those shows like Moon Knight, Loki. You're like,
Loki?
what is
Loki was pretty good. I liked it.
Oh,
I didn't see the second season yet, but I heard it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That second season is... The first season was great, but that second season was amazing.
Does it get all timey-wimey?
A little. It gets a little
Yeah.
timey-wimey. Yeah, but by the end, it completes the Loki character circle.
Okay.
And you're like, that's great. You know, because it's always the thing like, oh, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this. I don't want this. I don't want this. And then you eventually be like, turns out I'm good at it. And, you know, you see that building of that character. That was what was great about Loki is they were taking the time to build this character in a multiverse. There was already multiverse they wanted to work towards, but they knew they had to build this character from where they left at Endgame and expand on that. And that's what made Loki great. But what made Moon Knight great was that you're adding in this anti-hero who is very damaged, but people love that psychological mind thriller. So they're going through and they're like, oh. And everybody loves Egypt.
Yeah.
It was a line in a mythology book to where, you know, if you if you love mythology and ancient cultures, you will ultimately end up studying ancient Egypt. Because that's where it comes from. And especially the ancient Egyptians, man. I went through that. A whole long book of that. They had such an amazing messed up past. So entertaining. Like, there's so much stuff that you can do in that. And draw out the character. Because you have this guy. They created a whole new hero in that series Moon Knight. An Egyptian superhero. Female Egyptian superhero. Now you have that. And I'm fairly certain she was maybe a amalgamation of maybe a couple characters, but now, because of the Moon Knight show in MCU, Egyptian female superhero, going to be in the MCU going forward. You know, you have this expansion, which is not bad, and you also have a focus on characters that are giving people a new light as to maybe people you haven't even heard of, like Frank's person that he loves mentioning with Jessica Jones and the Purple Man. Oh. He hadn't even heard of, you know, he had to go back and look at the Purple Man. He had to go back and look up, where is this from? That's a good cut. You know, like with Daredevil Born Again, one of the villains being Muse. I had to go back and be like, hang on, who? And that made me even more excited about Daredevil Born Again. Like, all right, you give me Vincent D'Onofrio, you give me Foggy, you know, you give me all the characters I want, and you're teasing how it's going to tie into Spider-Man and the street-level heroes and the Young Avengers. Like, okay, give me this series. Because
that's the beauty about Marvel, though, you know.
They have a history that they could just be like, you know what, I'm picking this guy.
I'm going to pick this roller skating guy that didn't do very well. And give him a brain.
Have you checked out Kite Man on
Kite
HBO?
Man?
Oh my God! I was talking to my buddy Mike about it. It's fantastic. It's so fantastic. Like the Harley Quinn show and Kite Man are two that I wouldn't have expected I would like, but I'm so on board with Kite Man. Kite Man is amazing because his girlfriend, Golden Glider. I was like, what? tying in Bane, and they have like a bar, Noonan's, which is like a villain hangout.
Mhm.
And you got like Bane, you got like a whole bunch of like B-list mooks in there, and you have a whole bunch of different characters. Like Baby Doll is one of the executives at Villigan's, which is like a corporate chain for villains to go eat. they, they they completely commercialized the DC in that, and it's like it's so good with the comedy that they do with it. It's so hilarious. It's some of the best like off-color funny stuff, because with Harley Quinn, how they made Commissioner Gordon a drunk and how they portrayed Batman was
Yeah.
fantastic. And King Shark, I forget the guy who does the voiceover for King Shark, but I love that guy. Yeah, he always makes King Shark sound like this. And I'm only ever going to hear King Shark like that. Even when I watch Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, I still hear King Shark like, hand. I know you're Sylvester Stallone, but all I hear is, this is my hand. But that's the thing that DC does right. Recently, they had Titans, but, you know, fuck that up. They had a lot of stuff. Are you hopeful for DC at all in the future, though?
I am. I was hopeful for Disney when, or excuse me, whoops. I was hopeful for DC when Henry Cavill was still Superman, and Wonder Woman, you know, was Gail. What's her name? Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah. When she got a little she got a little rapey there in the second movie, though.
Oh well. I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I want to know the executive is like, oh, that's good.
She did just like jump at him, didn't she?
She jumped his bones.
Yeah.
And he's a different guy. It's like literally, it's not even his dick she's riding.
It's like,
you know, I mean, I feel Steve got cheated. Spiritually cheated in that Wonder Woman movie, because it's like, hang on, you did what? Well, I kind of pulled your spirit into this other guy's body. It's all right. He's not going to remember.
It's cool. It's cool. It's not emotional cheating at all. But I was hopeful around that area. And then I tried to watch The Flash. I can't watch The Flash. It's not that good.
Oh, it's not good, but I really just watched it for Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
And that end fight with Zod and all that, the funniest part was the end sequence, because it was like DC trapping Ezra Miller's Flash in with George Clooney. He's like, guess what, bud? You're stuck in this universe now, and we're going to push you universe
that way. With Mr. Freeze. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. Going to be a freezing hell.
He does have Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's a good thing.
A broken clock is right twice a day. You know, I mean, they got one. They got one. Although the biggest kick in the dick was what was going to be the third Batman movie with Tim Burton, because it was going to be, who is it? Lando. Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. And
that would have been wonderful.
Marlon Wayans as Robin. Dick
Marlon
Grayson.
He actually can act.
He can. And that's the thing, when I'm looking back at him, like, dude, I would have loved Marlon Wayans as Robin. That would have been so great.
He would have been so funny as Robin.
Oh, he would have been. It would have been great with Michael Keaton to play off of. That banter alone is why they made a comic based on that. It's Batman 89. And they kept going with it. And it's the characters. Billy D. Williams is Harvey Dent. You got Marlon Wayans as Robin. He picks up Robin and all that. Keeps going. And I'm just like, you know what? That is where good comic book movies from our past should go now that they're dead if we want them to live. Like, get some really good artists to back the stories. And guess what? Now we have a compendium for you. I'm in. I'm reading the whole thing. I'm loving the whole thing. You know, that's almost another layer of life to, you know, giving a bad property new legs. What bad property? Not even necessarily superhero related, but a bad IP from our childhood would you want new legs in comic form?
Silverhawks.
I kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah. I've been bitching about it for months at work, and my friends are so sick of me talking about it. I'm like, that intro is so fucking awesome. And then the show is like snooze fest.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It can be so much better.
Yeah.
And it kind of didn't make any sense. It didn't have to make any sense. I don't know. They're Silverhawks, half machine, half man. Yeah.
You
They
know
sang
what
it.
You know what I really want to see continue on as a series is the original Total Recall.
Okay.
Give me that as a continuing comic series. Because I think that would give you enough legs going forward. You could keep going on that sci-fi thing.
How about Minority Report with Tom Cruise?
Ooh, that would be a great one.
In that universe, I think it'd be great.
Trying to think of another one here off the top of my head of just like even somebody who's like mysteriously, you know, left for dead at the end of the movie that they kind of insinuated he could go on. But it was like, this is where we're ending it, but it could.
Hmm.
You can always do the Goonies in a comic, though.
You know, I've never seen the Goonies.
Dude, for the longest time, I haven't seen the Goonies. And it wasn't until, I think it was about like a year ago with Big Brother, that we actually watched it. And I realized that Short Round from Indiana Jones was in the Goonies. But then he got to a certain point in the movie of the Goonies to where I hear him say, "Look, guys, slick shoes. Slick shoes." When I was in middle school and high school, I was a punk. I was a punk fan. And I still love punk music. But one of my favorite punk bands that had an album too was Slick Shoes. And that was the intro to one of their songs. That was the only part of the Goonies I knew for fucking years. Because my friends would listen to me hear that. I'd be like, oh, that's the Goonies. How you listen to the Goonies? I'm like, no, it's a song, man. They started with it. I didn't know what that is. But once I heard that, it was like it's almost like, they said it. They said it. Like, I'm Batman. He said it.
Every time I see the Goonies, it's like on Thanksgiving. It's the beginning of the movie. They find a map. This kid dances with his belly. I fall asleep.
Oh, there is.
And then I wake up and everybody's got gold.
There's like the movie starts off with bullying and fat shaming. Chub, you can't come into the house unless you shake your fat around and dance.
So fucked up.
Come on, guys, I don't want to do it. Come on, I got something important to tell you. This guy has information about a dead guy he saw. And they're like, shake your fat around and dance, Chubby. That was the 80s.
Yeah. The 80s.
Shake your fat, Chubby. Let's go.
Some kid, I work at a grocery store. Some kid came up to me with his mom and was like, hey, do you know where I could get some water for free at? I was like, I don't know, the 80s from a hose? And everybody started laughing. I mean, it's fucking true. You can't get free water anywhere.
Oh, dude. I was working at an auto dealer. And I'm sitting there. I get off the phone, I hang up. It's an old woman talking to my coworker, Megan. And all I hear as I'm hanging up this phone, how many months are you? And she gets this scowl
Oh.
I'm not pregnant. Old people will give you the same answers as a child. When are you expecting? A burrito. A burrito.
A
Yeah.
burrito. It's my food, baby.
It identifies as him. It's a male burrito. I swear, if I was a more popular podcast, I'd get canceled.
Be like, I'll call it Chipotle.
Oh my god. But that's the thing is I look at the old movies like that, and I haven't seen this movie. I would look back at the Goonies. I'm like, all right, that is a good movie. It is, but Corey Feldman, that's the biggest guy you got out of there, out of that whole thing. It's you got Corey Feldman. And,
Short Round's doing pretty good now.
Well, yeah, he won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
So
did you see that movie?
I didn't. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yes, you said that correctly.
Oh, thank God it got.
What does he win, everyone?
But I haven't watched it. It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it.
It's pretty good.
Because it was subbed.
Subtitles? Yeah.
This is coming from an anime fan. I am a pinky up, picky bitch when it comes to, look. If I want to read, I'm going to pick up a free comic somebody just sent me. If I'm watching something, I'm generally at the Mac computer, and that means I'm also doing something else. So I'm not that fast of a reader. I got to keep that into one language when I'm doing multiple things.
Gotcha.
But, it's also that thing to where I will watch subtitled stuff. We just got to be into it, because especially with the subtitles.
It's a lot.
When you look at dub, and my buddy Matt Kennedy pointed this out to me when he told me, because we infinitely have a difference in opinion of subbed versus dubbed anime alone. He loves subbed, I love dubbed, because he says the voiceover acting alone is way better, even though you know nothing of what the fuck they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's his argument. I respect it. And you know what? After reading some sub, it sure sounds more intense, but that is probably just the Japanese people.
Yes.
Their language is like short syllables mixed together.
Yes.
It's got to be passionate. To where, if that's what you're looking for, yes, it's more directly translated to what they're trying to say with the, subtitles. I don't give a shit about any of that. Make it so I can hear it and watch it. Make their mouths match up. That's the worst thing when you're watching something and you're like,
oh, I hate that. Yeah. I went to Pan's Labyrinth in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I got tricked. I was with a girlfriend, and my girlfriend's friend was like, let's go see this movie. We went to go see it. I didn't know it was subtitled. I would have said no, but I sucked it up.
Yeah.
I sucked it up, and it was worth it.
It's
that
very,
was one movie.
And it's very big of you. It's very big of you to do that. Not a lot of people would do that. I know it's probably far off to say you're a hero. Okay. Hero is probably, it may be a bit too much, but I'll call you a hero for sitting through that. I wouldn't do it. So you're my hero. Okay. Of subtitled academia.
Oh, man. There's a problem with Netflix subtitles, I think. I don't know if I have the wrong setting or something, but every time I put on something that's subtitled, Netflix always has their own subtitles.
Yeah.
If the movie already comes with subtitles. So it's really annoying.
God, is that annoying.
I hate that so much. Sometimes I can't even watch Netflix, so I'll just switch it to Prime. Most times, those movies are on the other
I don't
app.
care if I'm watching something in English. Everything I watch has subtitles. because I do multiple things at once. That's right, fans.
Ah,
But everything has subtitles. Because especially with anime's bad with this, modern television, I'm pretty sure they have a law against it, but I have this problem with anime to where I will set the volume. And then
yeah.
is there in between?
There's
We
a
just hit
setting on
normal
that.
level.
Yeah.
I just, I don't want to wake up my agent and my brother because, hey, let me watch this anime. I might as well play the fucking Star Spangled Banner when I fucking start an anime.
They're
Watch
always
an
flying
anime.
through a meadow, like wind. And you're like,
it's
oh my
bad.
god, the show's on.
It's bad enough you can't watch it, most anime, if you're fucking prone to seizures, right? Do you need all those flashing lights?
Yes.
Or are you overcompensating with a shitty story? It's the problem. It's
I think the most I ever laughed on a parody episode was Rick and Morty, where they did an anime episode. I don't really remember it because I was laughing so damn hard.
You know they're doing a whole series on that? On
Yeah, I just found that out the other day.
Hey, we need a different shitty art style to put this out on. Why don't you put it out as an anime? Bill,
Here.
you're getting a raise.
Bob for marketing, you are getting promotion.
Yeah? Like, wow, just make it an anime. And then you could draw a different squiggly line. Can we use the same voice actor? Yeah, you can do the voice acting for like 70% of the cast. We don't care. Just do it, The trailer alone, I had to finish to the end because I was like, who asked for this?
Hey, what's your favorite anime opening? Maybe two or three. I know it's probably not just one. Mine is Full Metal Alchemist because it's pretty good.
Yes, Full Metal's good.
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
There was one that I always stand to. It's a new anime, and it's Kaiju number 8. It's this fucking rockin' song, and it has awesome CGI.
Okay.
Won't you just save me tonight? And it's fucking amazing CGI. You're like, I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah.
That Kaiju number 8 is a fantastic intro.
Nice.
There's another one.
There's another one for me. It's a banger. It's the ice skating show. I don't know what it's called. It's animated. It's anime, obviously, but it's just about ice skating, and they have all this drama.
Yes.
And they have a song called "Hero." You'll make history.
I want to call it the Tanya Harding story, but I know that's not the name. They wouldn't be that on the nose.
Something ice. I don't know.
No, but I do remember seeing that too. Yeah. I remember seeing.
It's a ridiculous show, but I watched it.
Log Horizon. Oh my God, that intro. You see me in the database. Wow, it's that and because the fiction in my head. And they have this whole if I'm rewatching that anime, which I do periodically, you can tell because I'm singing along to every word. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm bopping my head like a fucking 4-year-old. I am the happiest person alive. But yeah, Log Horizon. That was the one I was really trying to remember. I will rewatch that anime just so I can see that intro. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, no, the anime intros especially. I like that one because with that one, they either go all Japanese, and you're like, skip that shit. Or they have enough English words in there to where I feel like they're learning their market. Well, you know, we got to have more English words in this intro because people in America really like it. All right, here we go. One Punch Man Season 1.
One Punch Man.
Because my Chris's son Connor and I call Connor my One Punch buddy because he loves One Punch Man. I think it was like last year for a holiday. He got me a fleece One Punch Man blanket. I say him because it was Chris, but Connor got me a One Punch Man blanket. It's over there on the couch. And Connor and I were One Punch buddies. And every podcast I do ends with Connor saying, at least on Triforce, Tales of the Hunted, you know, a bunch of my podcasts, it ends with all of them end with Connor saying something. But most of my podcasts end with Connor saying One Punch. He goes, One Punch! And One Punch Man, the intro for the first season, it's right along that Log Horizons rockin' shit. It's so good. And it's actually Chris's ringtone. So whenever Chris calls me, I hear bing boom bang, One Punch. And then because my dog knows who's calling me, he gets super excited because every time Chris came over here to do a podcast, he'd come with Freddy's or something and he'd have a big thing of French fries. So now my dog associates One Punch Man with French fries.
Nice.
So anytime he hears One Punch Man,
they are good fries.
He's like, oh my God, I'm getting French fries. Like, we haven't figured out how he's going to shoot the French fries through the phone, bud. I don't know why you're getting so excited. You're not getting French fries right now. But as long as he's happy, Yeah. But this has been it's been a long, great podcast, and I can't believe it took me so long to ask you to be on. And
thanks for having me on. I feel very honored. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to have you on again, especially with Frank, because I think it'll be 100% different podcast. Because Frank usually does that to a podcast.
Yeah. Usually we also argue about really nerdy things. You'll probably get to hear that too. That'll be interesting.
The nerdy debate coming soon.
Dude, I had a nerdy debate with my friend years ago, and it's still going on. He said that Star Trek was nerdier than Star Wars, and I lost it. I know everybody's got their opinions. I think they're just the same level.
They're the same level of nerdy. It's just they're different types because Star Wars is cowboys in space. Star Trek is the military in space.
Military, yeah.
And to where if you've ever, I've read the book Trekonomics. Their whole economic system, at least for like Kirk and Picard, was just like everything you need is made out of the replicator. So materialism is gone.
Huh.
There's nothing. It's just like you got universal income and you just did what the fuck you want, or you fucked off on another planet and died. I don't know. But they have a whole book on Trekonomics, it's called. But it's essentially is like, yep, everything you could ever want could come out of the replicator. So everything else, there you go.
I'd be worried the replicator wouldn't get everything right. You know, like, what if I wanted a tequila or something? I don't drink anymore. But okay, how about Shirley Temple?
Very specific like that, like a particular type of whiskey.
Yeah.
You know, Picard, Earl, or tea, Earl Grey, hot. What kind of Earl Grey tea? Is all Earl Grey tea the same?
No, some of it's organic.
I can buy the $2 Earl Grey tea, and it's going to be the same as the $15 Earl Grey tea? Or is that replicator going on $2 Earl Grey tea and synth alcohol? That doesn't even sound like it'll get you drunk.
I would probably want some Klingon mead or something.
Oh,
see if they get that right.
Romulan ale?
Romulan ale.
It was outlawed from the Federation. You know what that means? That shit's good.
Yeah, it actually works.
That shit will get you fucking turned, and you can't show up to your station the next day.
It probably shows you the fourth dimension. Like, oh, time!
That was last night. Great to discover the fourth dimension. Woo! I told you to stay away from the Romulan ale. It was on sale. You bought it on leave? Fucking right I did. How'd you get it in? You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You never want to know. That's the good stuff.
That's why I drank it by myself, okay? That's why I drank it by myself. Oh, fuck. I gross myself out sometimes. Jesus. You know what, man? You took that joke a little far. I did. It was
All good. All good.
But is there any kind of do you want to take your art out there and even like put it on exhibitions, sell it, stuff like that, even at like a con, and just putting yourself out there like that?
Yes, actually, I've been out of the gallery game for a couple of years. That's actually how me and Frank met. We met at a Jerks Productions art show at Tattoo Mom's South Street in Philly.
Yeah,
And
I love
we've
jerks.
been
Jerks are great.
besties. Yeah, they're great. We've been besties ever since. Jerks Productions. They make horror films and pastries.
It was the weirdest combo I think I've had on for a guest. Like, all right, horror movies and pastries. Like, all right, Frank, fuck it. Let's go. I'm down. I mean, that is a fucking economic table right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I forget how exactly he said it, but he's like, we're going to get you with the food, but you're going to stay for the horror.
Yeah.
I got you something to eat. Now you got to have something to watch. Like, I saw him at a couple cons while I'm with Frank. I'm like, I got to have them on. And they were great. I love those guys. I mean,
they're great.
They're so amazing, especially with pastries and horror.
Uh-huh.
Who would have thought to tie the two together?
Never thought of it.
You can do a lot of creative stuff with the pastries to tie it in with horror to where you will sell out on the pastries and the food.
Yeah.
Very easily, you know? And that's one of the big things that I've seen for smart people at cons, to where they tie in the tables. They get you a treat as well as their art. We're going to get you on something. I know you're hungry. You've been walking around this con.
That's what
you want something
Maybe
to eat?
that's what I got to do. I got to make some pastries and sell some art with that. Or in a pastry. I used to sell stuff in cafes and galleries and stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get more back into that next couple of years. I'm adding electronics to my artwork.
Okay.
I did make a music box out of like LEDs and a sound card from like a greeting card.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded it. It plays over the rainbow when it senses light and it changes color. It's really cool. Ever since then, I didn't know how to do it, but I think I found a place in New York that'll teach me the basics of like Arduino boards and Raspberry Pi, and I can add that to my artwork. There's so much stuff happening to art right now. There's AI, use that as a tool, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There's conductive paint, where you can paint your picture and turn the electricity on. Like, that's fucking mind blowing. You realize what I can do with that?
There's so much you can do with adding technology in with your art, like you're saying, especially if you're creating a piece that you're going to sell and it has technology in it.
Plan.
It's going to be
there's
expensive.
no set plan that I have yet as to what to do, other than just tinker and put stuff in galleries the next few years.
Yeah, I got to set you up with my agent because she'll definitely help you out. But
that's sweet. Yeah.
Because you got great art. You have amazing ideas. I love the idea of adding LED in there with art because it adds another level to it, because you're going to add the light in at the point of the drawing and the art piece that accentuates what you're trying to say. And it's giving another level to it, your art, that nobody's really going out there and doing. It's an untapped market right now because it's still unsure in what can we do. That's the best place for an artist to be, is in that gray, murky water, figuring out how they're going to make that idea get out of their head.
There's a couple of artists that are doing something similar, but not the same thing as what I'm planning on doing. You ever hear of Playtronics? I'll let you go in a minute, but have you ever heard of Playtronics at all?
The name sounds familiar, and I'll let you go in a minute.
Oh, they're they're this company, electronics company, and you have these alligator clips, and you clip them to like fruit or your desk or your face, and you tap it, and it makes sounds, and you can just make sounds out of that. You can make music.
Oh my God!
I want to do that.
All those. There are crazy YouTube videos that incorporate things making sound and making songs, even songs you're familiar with, that are so you instantly love. As soon as you remember what they're saying, you're like, oh no, I remember that song. I know what that is. And you instantly love it, but you want to continue watching the video to see how you're going to make the rest of those sounds.
Right.
And that's another market that people aren't tapping into. Once again, artistic market that is not tapped right now, that a lot of people, and it's not like that slice of the pie, you're taking my slice and all that. It's big enough right now that you can instruct somebody, hey, I did it like this, and he's going to do it a different way for a point that he has, for his own idea. There's a level of interconnectivity that a lot more artists and even just content creators are tying into and seeing that, hey, a rising tide lifts all ships. Whether they have holes or not, they're still going to raise a little before they sink. That's the negativity that brings them down in that metaphor. But there's a lot there that for a positive thinking person, the best artists that I've met, a lot like you, they're not to a level, they're not satisfied with their work because then I'm always going to do better work. I'm always going to go outside that level and be better. But also acknowledging and saying, hey, this person's really great. You didn't have to mention jerks. I love those guys. I already know about them. But you mentioned them because you love them. You like these guys. You want people to know about them. And
yes, I want everybody to win.
It's the brilliant part about now and today, and especially with podcasting. It's why I have Tales of the Hunted. It's so Frank and I, most days, can go on and talk to everybody and let them know. Like we had on Vaughn Coleman, amazing writer. And he's like, no, I got the books on how to draw the Marvel method and all that. And I can't do it. I feel like I'm too old. Younger than me. And Frank's like, dude, we shut him down quickly. But thinking like, nah, in my 30s, too far gone. It's not when you're looking at art. Because you look at George R.R. Martin, he didn't make Game of Thrones until he was 44. And we're never going to see that fucking thing finished because he keeps doing other shit.
Yeah.
Have you watched House of Dragon?
No.
Don't.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones either. I tried watching it. I gave it the old college try. I'm just not that into incest. I just... I'm going to say no on that.
Look, this is your cousin. She's going to be your wife. What? Yeah.
It's fucking
your
horrifying.
Brother married your sister. So, yeah, you get the cousin. No gay shit around here. Your what? Your cousin? There you go.
We must preserve the bloodline.
My God. My favorite factoid is when people started studying the royal bloodlines of like Europe. You know what they found? The more incestuous, the worse the king.
Yeah.
It's almost like science is trying to tell you something there. Like, hey, you can't keep fucking your family. I gave you other people. What are you doing? Yeah, but...
that's her ear. Don't put it there. Oh.
Come on, man. My cousin's really hot. She's okay with the three-way with my sister. Trying to kill my Saturday night? Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to do. It's not what you're supposed to do. Leave your town. In Game of Thrones, that was very hard. Now, get in your fucking car.
Yeah.
Go out. See the sun. You probably haven't seen it if you're doing that. You haven't seen the sun directly, at least.
Go to town.
You remember when your mom used to say, go outside?
That's right.
I've seen you in here too long. Get out there. Go get hit by a car is also what my mom used to say. You know?
Yeah, that's another thing about today. You can't say that to kids now. They have to be monitored.
My mom used to hold her fist out and said, come here, run into this. That's battling.
My mom would be like, you've been in the house too long. Go outside. Yeah. Okay, bye. See you 3-4 hours later. No cell phone.
Streetlights.
Streetlights, that's right.
Streetlights come on. You're home. That's it. You know?
Yep.
Latchkey kids. Parents were okay with, all right, you got a key. Go in. Lock the door. Don't answer it. I have a key.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, you have, and I will never stop talking about this woman because I don't remember her name. It's safe. I'm going to need a loaner car. Okay. Well, just remember, no dogs in loaner cars. How am I supposed to get my puppy to puppy daycare? What did you just say to me? How long you going? Oh, I'm going to pick him up this evening. What kind of damaged dog did you get? You can't even have a routine and be away from him that you can be like, nah, he's got to be in daycare. I can't get my car serviced that day. Got to take my dog to puppy daycare. I'm going to open up a puppy daycare. Okay, if you want to drop your dog off and pick it up at the end of the day, I'll watch your fucking dog. I don't care. I'm about to fucking open up that business. Jesus Christ.
People pay a lot for their dogs.
They do.
Okay,
here is toy. I imagine it's like a parent.
Portraits of everybody.
I imagine it's like a parent. You know, like, all right, here are his day toys. Here's his snacks. I'll write it down. I'll follow it. Pen on point, guys. All right? I'll give you a call if he's coughing or hacking too hard. I'll watch your dog. Can't believe I just made a new business during this podcast. Matt Man's Puppy Daycare. Coming soon.
You heard it here first.
All right, I got a job, finally. Whew, wasn't that hard. Wasn't that hard. I'm going to open a puppy daycare. It's going to be great. At least until the township has a problem with it. So.
Yeah.
All ideas are fine until, government regulations get in there. But this has been a fucking legendary one.
This was fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh man, it was my pleasure. And like I said, I should have had you on so much sooner. But we're gonna have you on many more times in the future.
Cool.
And I don't end off this podcast unless I say the same goddamn thing. And that's, we love you, we miss you, and we're gonna see you next time. Until then, game on, Perjangers! Bye-bye!
Bye.